Having dealt at length with documents of the General Assembly, I would like now to deal more briefly with the documents of the Security Council. The Security Council is in a way very different, in many ways very different from the General Assembly by its structure, by its methods of work, and therefore also by the way its documents are identified. Basic documents of the Security Council will start with the letter S, followed by /, followed not by a session like the General Assembly, since the Security Council holds no sessions. It has to be ready to meet at any time. So the identification nowadays for Security Council documents is the year in full. So all documents issued in 2004 bear that identification. For instance, S/2004/1 for the first document of that year 2004. On the example shown, we have document S 2004/523. The Security Council, unlike the General Assembly and the Economic and Social Council, doesn't have many subsidiary organs. In fact, very few, and they meet rarely. The first one shown is a document of the Committee on the Admission of New Members. As the name indicates, it will only meet when there is a request for admission of a new member, and if you see such a document, it will always have the symbol SC2, followed by the year, followed by the number in the series. Here, SC2 2004-1. But in addition to that committee, which is a standing committee, there are a number of ad hoc committees on sanctions. Whenever the Security Council decides to impose sanctions on a country, it will establish an ad hoc committee on sanctions for that particular case. Here is the case of a committee on sanctions, S/AC, that shows that it's an ad hoc committee, followed by the number 30, which at the time happened to be the Committee on Sanctions against Haiti, /1993, the year of adoption, the year of establishment of that Committee on Sanctions. And of course, each Committee on Sanctions will have a different symbol following the letters AC. Two more samples of symbols of the Security Council. The first one shows the difference in the methods of work of the Security Council, statements by the President of the Security Council. Whenever the Council meets informally, the President of the Council is invited to express the views of the Council in the way of a statement by the President. It's not a resolution of the Council by any means, but it's a statement by the President of the Council that reflects the views of the members of the Council in informal consultation. So any statement of that kind is issued as SPRST / the year and the number in the series. So this was the 10th presidential statement in 2004. And the last example shown is similar to the one I referred to before. You remember we had a res for a resolution of the General Assembly. Now we have the text of a final resolution adopted by the Security Council, S Res 841 1993. The resolutions of the Security Council are still numbered consecutively. In the General Assembly, we start with one for each session. In the Security Council, we continue numbering them. They now have reached over 1,500. So it's not so many for the whole history of the United Nations. This was the case of a resolution adopted in 1993, and it was the 841st of all resolutions adopted by the Security Council. You must note that for identifying resolutions of the Security Council, officially, you should always end that identification by the year in full. Very often you would refer to or hear the press referring to Resolution 242. It's a journalistic way of referring to a resolution of the Security Council. Officially, we should always make it follow by the year of adoption in full. I mentioned before, and this is a case of a dual symbol. It's a document which is intended for both the General Assembly and the Security Council. And as you will see, it has the identification of both principal organs. First, the Assembly, alphabetically correct. A51, it's a document of the 51st session of the General Assembly, and it's the 91st document in that series, plus a hyphen, and then the identification for the Security Council, S 1996, so that's the year at which the document was issued, and it's 238th document issued that year for the Security Council. The two make a dual symbol, so you should never separate them. They are like Siamese twins. Always A and S together, hyphen with the hyphen in between. I think by now I have given you enough details about documents of the Security Council, and we shall immediately go on speak about the Economic and Social Council.